Gao Junwei noticed that Claire looked down on him a little, and was full of resentment. He stared at Charlie and gritted his teeth and said, "Smelly rag, you wait for me." Charlie looked at him in surprise. "What do you call me?" Gao Junwei scolded angrily, "I call you Stinky Popper. Are you deaf?" Juan, who was next to him, also added fuel and jealousy, and yelled, "Charlie, you son-in-law who eats soft rice, you are praised for asking you to hang silk." Charlie was not angry, and smiled and said, "You said that I am Popper, but you can't even touch the sides of these two cars, and you were beaten by so many people. Who the H*LL is rag now?" There was a burst of laughter from the crowd watching. Gao Junwei's face is extremely ugly, gritted his teeth and said, "It's as if you can touch it. There is a kind of thing you can touch one and show me?" When he said this, Gao Junwei was thinking of giving Charlie a stimulating method. If he gets fooled and touches these two cars, he must be beaten violently. If he is not fooled, just admitting the council in front of everyone, then he can save a little bit of face. However, he didn't expect Charlie to say calmly at this time, "What's the point of a light touch? Would you like me to take a test drive to show you?" "Ha ha ha!" Gao Jun sneered in a great voice. "Test drive? Your stinky rag is also worth of test drive of such an expensive car? You can touch the doorknob, I count you as winning today." Gao Junwei felt that limo had so many people guarding here anyway, if Charlie wanted to touch it, he would definitely be beaten like himself. Charlie smiled slightly, pointed to the Aston Martin 177 in front of him, and asked Claire, "My wife, do you want to take this car for a drive?" "If you want, I'll take you there." Claire hurriedly pulled him and said in a low voice, "Charlie, don't mess around, can't you see Gao Junwei's end?" At this time, Gao Junwei struggled to stand up and sneered, "Charlie, what are you doing with her? Do you know how awesome this car is? There are only 77 cars in the world, and there is no market. Even my dad hasn't been in this car before, do you still want to ride in this car?" Charlie shrugged and said, "It's my own car, can't I sit in it for a ride?" Gao Junwei laughed angrily. "Charlie, the more you pretend, the more addicted you are, right? You don't take a piss and take pictures of yourself. You are hairy, what qualifications to ride in this car?" Juan also said disdainfully, "Claire, it's really hard for you to marry such a boastful and non-draft rubbish." Claire's face was very helpless, and the gaze looking at Charlie was also a little disappointed. Is this guy's brain broken when he says such inconsequential words on this occasion? Charlie didn't bother to explain, took out two wearable bracelet keys from his pocket, held them in his hand, shook Limo, who was in charge of the auto show, and said lightly, "Do you recognize these two things?" When Limo saw the smart bracelet key that Charlie took out, he was completely confused. Thinking of what Chin Gang said on the phone, he suddenly snorted. D***MN it. Could this young man be Mr. Charlie, Mr. Wade? Correct. It seems to call him Charlie. So he hurriedly bowed deeply and said humbly, "Hello Mr. Wade." Limo salutes Mr. Wade and has seen Mr. Wade. After finishing speaking, he hurriedly flashed over, pointed at the two supercars behind, respectfully said, "Mr. Wade, your two cars are ready, you can drive away at any time. If you don't want to drive, we can help you transport them home." Everyone around was stunned. Gao Junwei's eyes were about to fall to the ground, but Juan was shocked. Even Gao Junwei dared to hit someone who saw Charlie bow and salute like a grandson, and called him Mr. Wade? What is even more incredible is that, according to what he meant, these two supercars belonged to Charlie. What exactly is going on? Claire was also dumbfounded, and for a while, she didn't understand what happened. However, thinking that Solomon White had given Charlie a big villa, she suddenly guessed the outline in her heart. This Charlie must have gone to show feng shui to the rich again and fool others. At this time, Gao Junwei hurriedly said to Limo, "Manager Limo, you must be mistaken. This person is Charlie, A well-known poor son-in-law of the Orus Hill Wilson family, not a Master Wade at all. Juan also looked at the manager flatly and blurted out, "Manager, look at Charlie, who is so poor. How can he be like someone who can afford such an expensive sports car? Maybe he brought counterfeit keys and dare to come to the auto show and pretend to be forced. You must not be fooled by him." Charlie snorted and took Claire, who was silly on the spot, and walked towards the Aston Martin 177. The security guard, who wanted to protect the car to the death and prevent it from being touched by other people just now, seeing Limo being so polite to Charlie, naturally gave way. Charlie took Claire's hand and walked to the driving position of the Aston Martin 177. The bracelet just approached the door and a beep was heard. Immediately afterward, the car lights like shark eyes lit up instantly. The LCD screen and ambient light in the car also light up at the same time. Aston Martin 177's iconic pair of scissor doors rose up automatically.